Yesterday, I had a very good question to my video of what would be a typical use for a simple job like a call center worker for AI. How can they use it day to day? So it's a good question, deserves a good answer. But unfortunately, the answer isn't that brilliant for call center workers. Basically, they get replaced by AI, is the short version of it. Now, is that something far off into the future or something already as a reality? Well, there are loads of companies already that can do automation, AI automation of call center jobs. So one of them I'll just show you here is called Bland, a company out of the US. There are many companies now who can, their competitors who can do something like this. But basically, it's a subscription service. So a company just goes onto Bland website, creates an account, and then, as usual with an AI, you just verbally tell it your use case. Say, okay, we're a consumer goods company, we're in this market, these are the kind of calls we're going to be getting, for example. And then the next stage is you pick the languages. So you can pick a male voice, female voice, whatever you want, and it can speak typically 100-200 languages, very typical of an AI. So anyone calls in a language, they're going to be answered in that language. And then you teach it like an employee. So this would be very similar to the scripts that a human employee in a call center would have. You're just teaching the AI, the only difference being that the AI learns it perfectly and gets it right exactly every time. And then that would integrate with the website or any other platform that the company is using. And the charge model, the fee model that someone like Bland is using is pay per minute of use. So within basically the space of a couple of hours, you've got an unlimited call center that's available 24/7. That's very, very cheap, way cheaper than running it with people. Now, are companies already doing this? And are they doing it in a place like Vietnam? The answer is yes. The office I have in Vietnam is in the building there in the picture. My particular office is behind that tree in the middle. But you can see it's a relatively modest-sized office. Now, the main tenant here is a company called Home Credit, multinational company. They do consumer loans. Like if someone in Vietnam wants to buy like a washing machine or a motorbike or something like that, they can get a loan from this company. And they've got about 11 million customers just in Vietnam. And you'd be wondering, for 11 million customers on a finance institution, how can that company fit in nationally into an office just that size? The answer is they're using a local AI called FPT. It's one of the leading tech companies here in Vietnam who have set up an AI call center for them. So they've got 2 million voice calls coming in, according to the FPT website, 2 million voice calls coming in a month in Vietnamese of people who are phoning up and they're speaking directly to the AI and probably don't even realize they're talking to that AI. And the AI is resolving 98% of those cases. So only 2% of the cases ever need to go to a human supervisor. So they say they've reduced their operating cost by 50%. I think they'd started quite some time ago on this AI route, so it's a bit difficult to kind of work out the baseline. But if you were fielding 2 million complex calls a month, you're going to need, 10, 20,000 staff, and they don't have that. And companies, I suppose, that do have that have the option of moving to something like this. And of course, the AI then integrates with all of the other decisions like assessing loan eligibility and probably the accounting and everything else in the back office. I'm not sure exactly the details, but you can imagine how it all fit together even with their marketing. So in this case, I've shown here that it's very easy to replace call center workers with an AI already. And this is one of the quotes here from Jensen Huang of NVIDIA. And he very politely says, AI isn't coming to take your job. Well, I think he's being very polite. In the case of someone like a call center worker, it is, and probably already has. I remember some years ago, I was in the Philippines and I was doing a presentation to the executive committee of one of the biggest business process outsourcing and call center companies in the Philippines, where it's a big job. And I said, look, I don't want to be right, but I think any job that is easy enough to outsource, it's probably easy enough to automate. And this was like 8, 10 years ago. I can't remember exactly, but before the age of AI. But I asked them, please argue with me. Please tell me I'm wrong, because I don't want all these people to lose their jobs. But I'm pretty sure that will have happened. Jensen Huang goes on to say someone using AI is going to take your job. Well, it depends if your job is straight up replaced or augmented. So in a more complex senior level job, someone using AI is going to have a way better performance than someone who isn't. And leaving it really on his advice, which would be my advice as well. The first thing anyone should do is learn to use AI so that they can augment their own productivity. So, I mean, just download it, have a chat with it, use it in your personal life, like doing a search, just having a chit chat, booking your holiday, doing simple things like helping you draft emails. Just start with it somewhere. And that doesn't guarantee that, it'll protect your job into the future, but certainly will give you a very good chance. So call centers, starting with the original question, a call center employee wouldn't really be using AI because it doesn't augment their job. It just straight up replaces their job. And this is something real that's already happening.